Hello, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to take a look at the new comic books that I picked up for this week. New Comic Book Day, Wednesday, January 8th. Now we're going to start off with Absolute Batman number 4. Now, last issue when I talked about it, I talked about my hesitations with the fill-in artist for issue 4, and here we see that it's Gabriel Walta. Yeah, I know the name. Honestly, I've never read anything that featured their art before. But I like it. I mean, I like the art. How do I say this? So the art was solid. It's my kind of for a Batman book, it fits. Now for the fill-in artist for Absolute Batman, I'm not entirely sure that it fits, if that makes sense. So this issue, it talks a lot about the origins of this Bruce Wayne's Batman and how he moves toward beginning his career as Batman. The mistakes that he makes. The big thing in this issue is adapting, and it's Bruce Wayne, a young Bruce Wayne. Starts off with him addressing the courtroom at the trial of Joe Chill after killing his father. And what's interesting is that it talks about how it is very much part 4 of the Zoo story. And when in issue 1 we see Thomas Wayne is murdered, they're at a classroom trip to the zoo, and here we see how Bruce and his friends came to be at the zoo. It was Bruce won a contest for designing a habitat or designing a bridge for a habitat of an animal that he selected, and obviously he chose bat. So the flashbacks talk about how Bruce develops multiple bridges through the course of the action, the course of the issue. His father is kind of talking to me like, "Is this the best way? What do you think?" And it shows that Bruce's the theme of the was it always forward, the AF, Batman AF. You see that in young Bruce, and he's constantly trying to perfect this design of this bridge. So it shows the characteristics that were in this Bruce Wayne before having anything tragic happen to him. So these characteristics were there before the murder of his father. So it's interesting to see that. It's not in past iterations of Batman. It's always been that Bruce Wayne, the Batman was born, and his characteristics were born out of his reaction to his parents' death. So it's almost like a definitive break in the Bruce that was, before his parents were murdered, and then the Bruce that then became Batman. It's like as if that action completely redefined who Bruce Wayne is, and here you get to see that some of those characteristics were always there, and that's interesting. I do like that. The story is very, very intriguing. I like this take on the origin of Batman. It's done in this kind of one and done flashback story. The big question remains how I feel about having that fill-in artist on a 5-issue opening arc for a big marquee title like Absolute Batman. I still don't like it. Now there are many reasons why this maybe happened. It could be editorial, not giving enough time to Dragotta. It could be Dragotta, now that he's doing art traditionally. He has been doing art digitally recently, and then he switched over to do art traditionally for Absolute Batman, which makes sense from an artist. Capitalize on the fact that the art is going to be in demand. So get physical artwork out there. So that makes sense. But has that change in producing the art, has that caused him to fall a little bit behind? I don't know. I'm not saying that someone should be blamed or that there should be fault placed anywhere. It's just, as a reader, I don't enjoy seeing that. I don't enjoy seeing that when it's collected in a trade, you're going to have this differing art styles. It's not a bad art style, and I don't think that shouldn't be lost in what I'm trying to say. The art works for this story that's being told. It's not a very action-heavy issue. There are some scenes of action, and it's fine. It works. There's nothing wrong with the art. I like it. I think in many cases, this would work fine for any type of Batman story. It's just, I don't know that it fits for this version of Batman. So I don't know. I'm happy to read something from Walta. I enjoy the art, but I just still have that gripe of when I see a collected edition, I want to see the same artist on the main chapters of the story, and that's disappointing. But I understand, know why it could be. If it was editorial not giving Dragata enough time, I can't necessarily forgive that, because that's, come on, let's make sure that there's enough time to do it. If it's Dragata kind of falling behind because of doing art traditionally, that's the flip side you get of having the art that we've gotten so far. So, pick your poison, I guess. So, all right. So that, yeah, I am enjoying it. I'll look forward to issue 5, but, small hang up aside with the art change, it was a really solid issue. All right. So another Batman book that we'll talk about is Batman Dark Patterns #2. Now, this is written by Dan Waters. Art is by Hayden Sherman. And Hayden Sherman art is damn good. I really like this. I like the tone of this series. It's a young Batman. It's a flawed Batman. It is a Batman very much in detective mode. The opening scene is a classic type scene with Batman talking to Gordon on top of the GCPD with the bat signal there. So I always love those classic types of scenes. And then you see something really cool that you rarely see in Batman comics. It's Batman on a stakeout, and I just like seeing that. I like seeing the Batman that has to work. Like he has to put in the time and the work to solve the mystery. When it comes to most modern Batman stories, Batman is Batman can do anything, and that's often used as an explanation to what moves a plot forward. It's like, oh, it's Batman. Batman can do anything. But I like seeing that he has to put the work in here to actually figure out what's going on. The main plot of the story is there's this new villain, new serial killer called the Wounded Man, and he's got a series of needles all through his body, and if Batman punches him or makes any physical contact with him, it's the needles that are there are going to puncture a vital organ and kill this person, and that goes against Batman's code. So it's Batman trying to figure out how to deal with this person and also how to stop the murders that this person is committing. And in the first issue, Batman was able to get a hold of a list of potential victims, and so the stakeout that he's on is trying to monitor the latest potential victim. And we see that the Batman, his hunch was right. So there's another confrontation with the Wounded Man, and this is a really solid book. I really have been enjoying it, and I think it's a mini. I'm not sure how many issues it is. If it's 4 or 6. Not sure, but very much enjoying it. And like I said, I like seeing a flawed Batman, a Batman who there's a scene where he relies on someone to call in for backup. He's something is happening. He says to this person, "Hey, call Gordon, call the police, get them here." And then he goes off and does the next thing he has to do, and that kind of blows up in his face, and the person doesn't call in for backup. And I like seeing that. I like seeing that in a modern Batman story, that would never happen, because it's Batman. He covers all his tracks, all his bases, that leaves nothing to chance. But I like seeing that those elements come into play here in a young, inexperienced Batman. So, all right. Then the only other new issue that I picked up is a comic that I've talked about a lot. I posted a video just the other day. It's Transformers 16. So this is going to be a shorter recap of it, but if you want more of the in-depth, a lot of the plot details, a lot of spoilers, I posted a video that's on the channel, so feel free to go check that out. But the brief synopsis is, Danny Warren Johnson, writer, Jorge Corona on art, and Sarah Stern on colors. Sarah Stern is, I'm not sure if she's, I saw that Mike Spicer made a post that he said, she did great work on 15 and 16, which she did. She kind of filled in for Mike when he was, I guess taking some time off or whatever, or busy with other projects. But I don't know if that implies that she's just on for these 2 issues and he's coming back for issue 17. I don't know, but the colors are very consistent. There's it's like Sarah Stern has worked with Jorge Corona in the past, and I think the pairing works really well. It's almost like she took Mike Spicer's color palette and then there's this added level of warmth to it that really helps the images pop off the page, and absolutely love it. But this issue, so what it was billed as is, this big Devastator Bruticus fight, and the cover A is Danny Warren Johnson. You see them fighting. Cover B is Jorge Corona with Bruticus, and that's a great cover. But clearly they're selling that it's Bruticus and Devastator, and that is a main plot point of this issue. And I kind of thought it was going to be the majority of the issue was just going to be this kind of title fight between the two of them, and really their fight is backdrop to everything else that's going on, and I like that. I like the surprise. Now, yes, I would love to have seen more of the fight, but the fact that it's, again, they continue to subvert expectations, and instead of just giving us a fight between two combiners, we get a lot of story. We get a lot of the story plot threads are advanced forward. So there's so much story going on here, all while having some really great action, because it's a big fight. It's the Autobots, the Decepticons. The Decepticons are fighting each other. So there's just a lot of factions at play, a lot of chaos going on, and there's still some meaty plot threads and story that's happening, and that's brilliant. That is a great combination for a comic book. It doesn't have to be story heavy or action heavy. It's both, and that is an accomplishment. So yeah, very much looking forward to issue 17. Some big spoilers, big reveals in this one, but yeah, definitely worth checking out. If you're not reading Transformers, I really strongly suggest that you do. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, but it's fantastic stuff. So all right, and then the last thing I picked up, actually no, two more things I picked up, but this is a variant cover, variant cover that I picked up, and I can't help it. So when variant covers make sense, I will pick them up on series that I really enjoy, and this is The Moon is Following Us issue 3, the second print. And anytime you get new art from any of the artists working on a title, I like that. It's not just a recolored version of an image, or just an interior panel, or it's actually new art, and I think that's fantastic. So if you do that and you give me some new art, then I'm a sucker. I'm gonna give you another $4. So yeah, so got that one. And then the last thing I picked up is something that I've talked about in the past, but it's Falling in Love and the Path to Hell Volume 1. The trade just came out. And again, when Image does their Volume 1s of their books, they're $9.99. So yeah, I like having this, because if I want to revisit the story, which I do plan on rereading some of this, I just like having a handy copy to read it instead of like digging out all the single issues. So yeah, I've talked about this in the past. I'll talk about it more when the next issue comes out, which I'm not sure when that is. But yeah, a samurai and a gunslinger falling in love in some limbo like hellscape. Sign me up. That's great. So, all right, that was the look at what I had this week. This wasn't a big week, but the titles were pretty big. Transformers, Absolute Batman. I like that they're kind of they seem to be on the same schedule. And now we have this upcoming week. We have, the only one I know of is G.I. Joe #3 is coming out, and in a couple of days I think I'm going to post a video. Be on the lookout for maybe early next week. I'm going to take a look at the art scans for issue 2. So I'll do a story recap of the full issue, like I did for issue 1, and then show off all of Tom Riley's art scans for that issue, and yeah, give my thoughts on those. So so that should probably post on maybe Wednesday, maybe New Comic Book Day. So the day that issue 3 comes out, I'll have I'll be talking about issue 2. So anyway, thank you very much for watching this one, and I will see you soon.